everyone, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Carly. I am a knitter and yarn dyer coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Today we have a regular style knitting podcast for you all, which also includes a little bit of crochet and sewing. So let's just get into it. So it's been maybe 3, 4, 5 weeks, I'm not entirely sure, since I last had a podcast episode. So I have a lot to go over today. I've been working a lot on a lot of different projects and I'm really excited to show all of them to you today. So let's start with my first finished object, which is actually what I'm wearing. I showed this a little bit in progress in my previous episode, and this is the Rib Lace Raglan by James & Watts. I am also going to try and remove my hair when I show my finished objects, because sometimes I have gotten comments about that and I sometimes just forget. I want to just talk about all the details and I forget that my hair is covering most of the piece. So this is what I'm wearing. This is the James & Watts Rib Lace Raglan knit in Elsebeth Lavod Silky wool in the color Fresh Snow, which was gifted to me from Knitting Fever. I had this yarn in my stash for quite some time and I was really excited about it. I love wearing white and I just didn't know what I wanted to knit with this. And then I remembered that I had actually knit this pattern previously before and I thought that this would be a perfect pattern for this yarn. So this is the 2.0 version of this pattern where he did add some neckline shaping. So in this one the neck is lower in the front and higher in the back. The first version is not like that. And so the first time I knit it, it had 0 shaping, so it did fit a little bit differently. I also knit the second size this time, and the first time I knit the first size. So it's a little bit looser on me, which I really love. I kind of wanted something that was open and airy, and I also went with some longer sleeves. I think I told all of you guys that I wanted to do full length sleeves, but then I got to about 3/4 length and I really fell in love with the look, so I just bound off there. So this is top down all over lace raglan, and I added a I-cord edge, an applied I-cord edge for the neckline. There's I-cord bind off and then I-cord bind off for the hem as well. So I really love this top. I've worn it so many times since I finished it. It's rapidly becoming one of my most worn pieces, even though it's my most recent finished object. And I think that just goes to show how much I love this project and this piece. So I would actually make it again. It would be my 3rd time if I do. And I love knitting the long sleeve version, and I just love having 0 shaping or 0 decreasing, because it kind of gives like a slight bell shape to the sleeve, which I love so much. So I definitely recommend this project. It's a really intuitive knit lace pattern, and if you're newer to lace knitting, this might look difficult, but it's honestly a really great piece in my opinion to start with a lace garment if you've been wanting to do that. It's just one that is very easily memorizable. After a few rows you get the hang of it, and especially if you're able to read your knitting, I think that you'll be able to memorize this no problem. This was also a piece that just became so meditative for me. It's one of those patterns that just, with the repeat, and it's pretty mindless for me, that I just got lost in this project and I could just knit and knit and knit and get into the rhythm of it, and it felt so good to have a project that I could kind of like escape and just get into a zone, get into that flow state. And yeah, so I really enjoyed working on this, and I do see myself knitting another one in the future, maybe something that is like 100% plant-based. This one is a mixture of silk and wool, which is really great. I found it's really nice for winter or for summer and spring. It's also so holey and airy, so a lot of breathability, but I would love to have it in maybe 100% or like a cotton linen mix, or I have some hempathy yarn, which is I think mostly hemp and then a mixture of some other things, but it has a really beautiful drape, and I think something with just a bit more drape would be a really nice option for me. This yarn is really, it feels really lightweight and it does drape nicely, but it's just, I think not as drapey as like the hempathy yarn I was talking about, and I think that would be a nice option for another version. So this project took me from March, when was it? I just looked and then I forgot already. March 19th to April 8th. So it's fairly quick knit for me, and I did knit this, I believe it was the recommended needles, which was the 3.75 millimeter. And yeah, I really recommend this one. I think it's a great piece, really fun to knit up, and hopefully I'll knit some more up in the future. All right, on to the next finished object, and these are a pair of socks. I've mentioned them I think a few times by now, and I've talked about these mock cable socks 1,000 times, so I won't linger on this one for too long, but these are just some mock cable socks that I knit up. Got two, yeah, top down 2x2 rib, basically just with some lace in there to make it look like a cable. I did a short row heel, regular toe, and then at the toe I just went into regular 2x2 ribbing instead of continuing the cable or the mock cable, and then same with the cuff, it's just the 2x2 ribbing. So yeah, these are just knit in my own yarn, Karlie Paige Fibre Co. This was just a colorway I was playing with that will not become of anything just because it was too difficult to make. It's not the best dye, I don't think, so I was just playing around with it, but they are great socks for me to have at home. And yeah, so I have two. And that's all I'll talk about these socks for. That's all I will say about these socks, rather. Yeah, I've talked about mock cable socks so many times, and there are a bunch of patterns on Ravelry if you're interested in knitting up a pair of your own. Okay, my next finished piece is a really exciting one. I haven't shared this on the podcast at all yet. It's self-drafted. How this became a garment is I was just feeling, I was done with this project. I was waiting for yarn on another whip that I have, and it was taking a few weeks to come in, so I didn't really know what to work on, and I was feeling a little bit uninspired and not excited about what was currently on my needles. And so I just decided I felt sick of knitting and doing the same thing over and over again, so I decided, let's just start a granny square and see what happens, see what goes from there. And so I had no idea what was going to become of this granny square. So then I ended up making two more, and so I had 3 granny squares in total. And again, I had no idea. I was like, maybe this will just be a cute little bag, or I can knit up a whole bunch of granny squares and make a vest or a sweater or something like that. I honestly had zero plan for this. But then I finished my 3rd one, and I was so sick of making granny squares that I was like, okay, I'm going to just have to keep it with 3 granny squares. Let's see what I can make with it. And that's what I did. So I ended up joining these 3 granny squares vertically, and then I decided to join crochet and knitting together. And again, I had zero plan. I just was doing things as I went, and it was so fun and refreshing, and I just felt like I was able to really be creative with it and have so much fun with it. And it was just a really nice break from following patterns and pretty much only choosing my color for the yarn, and that's it. I just wanted to have more say in what I was making, so that's why I decided to do a self-drafted pattern, and I really love doing that every now and then just to keep things fresh and fun for me. It's fun to just completely go off pattern, or not even go, so create your own pattern but with no plan in mind, and just kind of let the yarn and whatever you've kind of started decide what it wants to be. So I use Queensland Collection Adelaide color 107, and this yarn, let me just look it up really quickly. I forget what the makeup of this yarn is, if I could find it on here. Okay, so this yarn is 50% wool, 25% silk, and then 25% polyamide. So this is considered a fingering weight yarn. It's 436 yards per 100 grams. This yarn was gifted to me from Knitting Fever also, and it had been in my stash for a little while, and I love the color, I loved the feel of the yarn, and I just didn't know what I should make with it. So I'm really glad it turned into this, and I guess I'll just stop talking and show you now. This is what I ended up with. So as you can see, I just started with one granny square and I had no clue what to do. So I ended up just joining all 3 granny squares together. And then I blocked them because they were really scrunched up, not laying flat. And once I put them together in a row, I kind of knew that I wanted to pick up stitches on a side and knit sideways. So in order for me to do that and feel comfortable about like the pickup rate, I really wanted to have a nice flat blocked piece of granny squares. So I blocked them, and then once those were dry, I went and picked up stitches along the side here. And I went straight, I did 2 rows of knitting, is that right? Yeah, 2 rows of knitting to get that kind of like purl ridge there. And then I just started knitting flat, stockinette back and forth. Now this whole piece is knit flat because it's knit sideways, and I just knit flat for a little bit, and then I started doing some increasing for the neckline. And then I knit flat, or just knit straight again to kind of square off that shoulder strap. So I finished the increasing, and then I bound off. The order of this changes depending on what side I was working on, but for this side I then bound off. Then I would knit a row, come back, bind off another stitch, knit a row, come back, bind off another, so on and so forth. So I get that gradual curve for the underarm. And then I did an I-cord bind off to get a really cute seam there. So I did that side, and then I picked up the same amount of stitches for the other side. And again, because it's knit sideways and knit flat, you're kind of doing it the opposite way for the other side. So then I would basically do the same thing. I would do the increases for here, and then knit flat, and then I would have to, I think I ended up over here, and I'd have to knit up to, I think it was 36 stitches, then no, more than that. Anyways, and then from here I would knit up, then I would bind off, knit back and forth, bind off, knit back and forth. Wait, is that right? No, it's not. Ignore me. It doesn't really matter because there's no pattern for this. But anyways, I did the same thing for either side. It's just the order in which I did it kind of changed a little bit, just like the binding off and all of that. But it was really fun. I took a lot of notes, so I just basically like took all my notes for this side. And then when I started this way, I just followed those notes, but kind of like in reverse order. And then I did a I-cord bind off again for a nice little seam. And then I blocked this whole piece, this whole front piece, just so that I could see how it looks, see how the fabric and the pickup rate worked for, you know, the width of the granny squares. And then I actually picked up straight from that bind off edge of the I-cord, and I started the back piece, which is basically the same as the front, just without the granny squares, and the neck is actually, or the back is also higher than the front. And then I just knit sideways while doing some increases, and then casting on a bunch of more stitches, knitting back and forth, doing some increases to round out the neck also, and then knitting back and forth, and then I would bind off a bunch, knit a little, bind off, knit a little, bind off. You know, you get the idea. And then I cast off just a regular knit cast off, and then I seamed it together to the other I-cord seam. So then all the knitting part was done, and I kind of had to figure out what I wanted to do for all the edges. I ended up doing, I ended up doing I-cord edges, just like an applied I-cord edge for the armholes to tie in that I-cord seam. I thought that looked really nice and cohesive. And then it's really subtle in the neckline, but the neckline I just did like granny stripes all the way along to tie in the granny squares, and then I did 2 rows of it at the bottom just to tie it in. So I am calling this, when I finished it, it is in this beautiful golden color, and then I saw this and it reminded me of like the yellow brick road from, what's it called? Wizard of Oz. And so I decided to call this my Dorothy tank, just because it looks like a yellow brick road, and yeah, I didn't know what else to call it. So I'm really happy. My arm is killing me holding it up. I'll put a picture and some B-roll on the side, but I'm really happy with this piece. It was really fun. I just finished it a few days ago, so I actually haven't worn it yet. I've tried it on and I think the fit's pretty good. Ideally, I think I would have wanted a little bit more negative ease or less positive ease. It's bigger than I intended, but it could possibly work as a layering piece and as a vest in the cooler months, so that would be great if that is the case. I think I'll just wear it as a tank in the summer. I really do have to make sure that the sleeves, not the sleeves, the shoulders kind of sit far on my shoulders. If not, there does like some buckling or like some gaping, not gaping, just kind of like it bubbles out a little bit here. So if I make sure they're like sitting on the far edge of my shoulders, if that makes sense, then it sits nice and smoothly and looks pretty good. But overall, I think the fits worked out really well for having zero plan in mind and not really knowing what I was doing. It worked out really well. So I am happy with it. I'm very proud of it. It was just like a really fun thing to do, to feel excited again about my knitting and to just like see what I could come up with on the fly. And yeah, it was just like a really rewarding, fun experience for me, and I still am really proud of the finished piece. So yeah, I really recommend doing that. Just if you haven't tried it before, I'm sure a lot of you have, but to just kind of yeah, make up your own thing and see what happens. It is really, really fun, especially when it turns out. It doesn't always turn out, but when it does, it's like a very rewarding, fun thing to do. And I feel like you just build a lot of confidence in your ability and your skills for making, constructing, and all of that. So yeah, I was really excited to show you all that piece. I think it's really fun, and I'm excited to hopefully get a lot of wear out of it this summer, and maybe I'll figure out ways to layer it in fall and winter. Okay, let's move on to whips. So I've mentioned this a little, I think a couple times before, that I really wanted to knit the Seesaw sweater by Victoria Chaplina, and I wanted to do a modified summer version and turn it into a tee. So I did cast that on. I don't think I've shared this yet. Oh yes, it's completely bound off the body. I just have the sleeves and the neckline to do. So it's not attached to any needles, which is nice. I can show you. I ended up using Drops Belle in the color black. So it's just this yarn here, which is a cotton linen blend. And is that right? Is it cotton linen? Let's double check that. I'm not entirely confident in that. It's 53% cotton, 33% manufactured fibers. So rayon and viscose, and then 14% linen flax. I really love Drops Belle. I've worked with it only once before in a wrap top, which was with the same yarn, which was a self-drafted wrap top. And I had leftovers, so I thought, let's go ahead and make a tee. Although I only had 3 balls left, and so it wasn't nearly enough. So I had to order 3 more balls. And so this project has been on hold for a little while as I waited for the yarn to get here, but it finally got here, so I'm back at it. And this is what we have. So it's, hopefully you can see everything because it is black yarn, but it's all garter stitch, drop shoulder, and then the bottom has a really beautiful lace detail, and that's what really sold me on this sweater. I loved the combination of garter with this lace at the bottom. I am doing mine a little modified, other than just turning it into a tee. The pattern, I think you start the lace a little bit higher, and then it also calls for like 7 repeats, and as you can see, I did 3. I just liked the idea of having this come right at my natural waist and then just having a cropped sweater where it's just below the hem of my high-waisted pants, and then just having a short section of the lace. And this is like quite cropped, as you can see, but it is garter, so I'm expecting it to grow lengthwise quite a bit when I'm blocking. So I did knit it a little bit shorter than I normally would, and I think it'll be okay. So if I place it, or you know what, I can just put it on. Let's see, and it'll be over this sweater, but whatever. It'll work for what I'm trying to show here. So I do want to pick up stitches for the neckline, I think, next, just get that done. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do for the neckline yet though, so that's the problem. It does call for a 1x1 folded rib in the original sweater, but since I'm making mine more summery and a tee, I don't know if I should do like an I-cord or just a rolled hem. I'm not really sure, so let me know your thoughts if you have any ideas. And then for the sleeves, I'm just going straight into the lace section, and I maybe will do 3 repeats to match the bottom of this, possibly more if I think it needs more length. And in the original, it goes garter stitch and then does the lace panel down here, the lace section down here. So yeah, I'm just going to put that lace section immediately after picking up. And this is what we have. As you can see, it is quite cropped. My jeans go right here. So even pre-blocked, it's not too bad. I would show a bit of skin by moving, but like I do expect it to grow quite a bit with blocking. So I think once it's blocked, it will hit a nice area there. And I think it'll be a really cute summer tee. And I would like the sleeves to maybe go about here. So let's just see. This is my unit of measurement right now. Just say that. Yeah, I think 3 repeats of that on the sleeve would be nice. So let me know, what do you think I should do for the neckline here? I'm not sure if 1x1 folded rib will really go with this summery feeling. I'm thinking, I don't know, an I-cord would be nice, but I'm kind of sick of doing I-cords, to be honest. So maybe just a rolled hem. I don't know, but then a rolled hem is stockinette, and this is all garter, and there's not really, I guess there is stockinette actually in this section of the lace. So maybe that would tie it in all together, but I'm not entirely sure. So let me know if you have any ideas for the neckline for this one. So I am using 4mm needles for this project. It's been really fun and enjoyable. It's really nice to knit a drop shoulder in garter stitch because it's just like knit back and forth, and it just seems to really fly by. So yeah, I mean, I know I haven't finished it yet, but this, so far I'm really enjoying this pattern, and there's been no errors. It's been pretty good. It's my first time knitting a pattern from this designer, so far so good, and hopefully this will be done or really close to done. Next time I do a podcast episode, I would like to finish it really soon because I'm just really excited about it, and it'd be nice to have a black, like somewhat basic tee in my wardrobe and ready for summer. So my next whip is, I don't think I've shared this one either, and this one I'm also excited about, but I've stalled on it. I've kind of lost the motivation to work on it because it is a colorwork yoke sweater, and I am knitting the, what's it called? Strange Brew by Tincan Knits, and I had so much fun doing the colorwork. Now I've reached stockinette endlessly in the round for a fingering weight sweater, and I've just kind of lost my motivation. But this is my 3rd time knitting this sweater. I've knit the same size before, but in like a DK almost, I think it was worsted weight, possibly, and I knit that for my friend. And then I knit a baby version, just one solid color. It was a color changing yarn, but no color work or anything, and I just did a plain sweater for him and then for my nephew. And then I decided I'm going to knit myself a fingering weight colorwork sweater, and the colorwork was great, but yeah, now I'm just the fingering weight stockinette. I'm so bored. So I don't know, but it's really beautiful. And basically why I did this is as I've been doing a lot of yarn dyeing, I have a lot of samples left over from doing sample knits and just having, I did a lot of my sample knits in socks and smaller projects. So then I had a lot of leftovers. And I also had this other colorway that I was experimenting with that will not be turning into a color that I produced because it's just way too much work. So I had a couple of those skeins and I thought, I'm not going to sell them, so let's turn them into a sweater, and then all of my leftover pieces from previous sample knits I could use for the color work. And I had so much fun knitting the yoke of this. Like, look how cute that is. So yeah, this is Karlie Paige Fibre Go. It's 100% BFL yarn. It's kind of like a heavy fingering sport weight. It's 100 grams for 369 yards, and all of these are naturally dyed. So a lot of these are like one-of-a-kind experimental colorways that I ended up never selling, and then a lot of these are also just sample pieces that have been already in the shop. Like there's butter in there, and there's peach, and there's golden olive, and yeah, I think a few others that I've already sold. So yeah, I had so much fun, and if you aren't familiar with Strange Brew, it basically is a big recipe and you can kind of make it your own. So they do give you a lot of different colorwork motifs to choose from based on your stitch count, and I did use a lot of them for like the tinier ones, like for this section and this section. And then you probably recognize these flower motifs, and I use Summer Lee's Colorwork oh my goodness. I used Summer Lee's Colorwork Cuff Club charts from, it was the August chart. And I knit, I think maybe 2 or 3 of these socks in this motif because I loved it so much, this flower motif. And it just so happened that I could make the stitch repeat work for the number of stitches I had on my needles for the yoke. So I just did the flower part here, and then down here to finish it off I did the flower and then one part of the stem and the stalk, and in the actual chart it has another little piece, like 2 more leaves here. But I just thought it balanced it out nicely, doing like just the flower at the top and then the flower and the stems at the bottom. So I think it's really cute and looking really good. Like I said, yeah, I'm just on the body now, and I am doing helical knitting since it is hand-dyed yarn, just to avoid any color pooling or drastic demarcation line when I switch skeins. So that's been going well. But again, yeah, I'm just like kind of losing steam, and I'm wondering if I should turn it into a t-shirt instead of a long sleeve, because I don't know if I have it in me to knit endless amounts of stockinette on fingering for like 2 long sleeves and a body. So I'm not sure. Let me know if you think this would look okay as a t-shirt. I think it would. Would I get much wear out of it as a color work all over, or like 100% wool BFL t-shirt? I don't know. So yeah, we will see. But I'm not sure how long I want it either. I think like, yeah, probably like here at least, like this length would be good. So I've got a lot to do. But that's what happens when I do a color work project. I get obsessed with the color work part, and then it's just so fun. It's so engaging. I love working with colors so much. And then once I get to one plain color, it's just like, oh, that bit was so exciting. And now I'm just like, I'm a little bored. So I don't know. I need to pick it back up though, because I think it will be a really beautiful sweater. And for the most part, I think it was 2 colors that I was working with, but there are a few parts where I did do 3 colors, like down here, I think, and maybe 1 up here. But yeah, it was so fun. I love the Strange Brew pattern. Maybe I should have just done an all over color work instead of do just the yoke, because if I enjoy it that much, maybe an all over color work would be better, which sounds crazy because it's fingering weight, but I honestly think I would get more progress on it if it were all over color work, because it's so much fun. So yeah, This, oh, I love looking at it. It's really pretty. I really do love looking at it. Yeah, that's another piece that just brought me a lot of joy, and I feel really proud when I look at it, just because I, you know, naturally dyed all the yarn as well, and then kind of incorporated different design elements that I think look really pretty. But yeah, and I don't know how much I would actually wear this day to day, but it's just one of those pieces that I'm kind of just making for the fun of it and just to like admire. And even when it's done, if I don't wear it that much, I'm fine with it. If it's just something that I can look at and admire and feel proud of and just love the way it looks and the beauty of it, then that's fine with me. So I have one more finished object that I completely forgot about, even though we already went into whips. I was thinking something's missing, and yeah, so I think it's because I had it back there the whole time and not on the table next to me. But this is the Peacock scarf by Les Knit, and this was recently released, and I fell in love with it immediately. It's the same stitch pattern as her Peacock tee, and yeah, I just thought I would knit one up as a sample. So this is knit in my yarn Karlie Paige Fibre Co in the color Blossom, which is available in the shop now. This was really fun to do. It was a pretty quick knit. I really loved it. I did already share this on my latest video, which was just going through all the colorways on my last shop update. So if you've seen this, I won't go on too long about it, but if you haven't, yeah, this was a really fun project. I believe you start, yes, you start down here and work your way up and increase, and you can do as many or as little repeats as you want. I just went for like a tinier shawl, and I think I'm going to wear this a lot in the winter, and I can just tie it back here and get some nice coverage around my neck. For wind, I think it looks really cute and really pretty, and then I can also wear it kind of more bandana style if I want, and I can wear it like tied around the front, which I also really love the look of this as well. I didn't tie it properly. I said in my last one I always get confused when I try and tie it, but yeah, I can kind of look like that, and I think that's really cute too. So I do recommend this pattern. It was really fun and a good quick knit. I think it's a really good gift knit as well. And it's just, I love this lace pattern. As you can see, it's in my Seesaw sweater as well. I did forget, or I did mess up right here. You can see there's only one garter ridge. There's supposed to be two, but I didn't care. I just kept going. I did not want to rip back when I saw it a couple rows later. So I think this is really pretty. I really love this color. And this is Blossom. I think it's a really beautiful spring summer color, and will be nice to wear in fall and winter when things get a little gloomy and I feel like I need some color around me. I think this will be a nice piece to have. Okay, so that's it for finished objects and whips. I do have, what do you call that? Acquisitions. I won't go on too long about it, but I just want to share some future plans. So I ended up getting a bunch of Drops Paris in this color 30. And it's 100% cotton. And I really want, I forget the pattern name, but I'll put it up on the screen. I really want to make this skirt, and this is the yarn that's suggested for it. So I think this will be so beautiful in that skirt. It's a nice like midi length skirt. It's a free pattern download if you're interested. And this designer, she has got a lot of beautiful designs if you haven't seen her before, so definitely check her out. And she also has a really nice YouTube channel, and she's always working on lots of different things and lots of sewing as well, and all beautiful projects. So definitely check her out. But I hopefully will cast this on somewhat soon. I just kind of want to wrap up some of my projects here before I cast this on, but I'm really excited about it. I've been wanting a knitted skirt for a really long time, and this type of style and design is just right up my alley, and I think mixed with this will look really beautiful. And I would love to have like a cream off-white sewn top, like wrap top to wear with it, which I will have to make as well, but I think that'll look really beautiful together. I do have a top in mind, a pattern in mind. I think it's by the Friday company, something like that. I'll put a screenshot up of the top that I want to make to match this, or to pair with this skirt. It'll be linked down below as well if you're also interested. So yeah, definitely excited about that, and I can't wait to have a knitted skirt to wear. And I think this would be one that I could possibly wear into fall with some like tights underneath, maybe winter too with like those really warm tights underneath, but we'll see. It'll definitely be a summer staple for me, I think. I just love wearing long skirts, so I'm really excited about that one. That's it for acquisitions, and I actually do have some sewing to talk about, so I won't spend too much time on it, but I did finish these pieces recently. I'll start with the one that I actually wear, and this is the, oh gosh, what is this called? This is the Bellbird blouse by Common Stitch. It's just a modified version. So I've sewn this is my third time sewing it, and I did it in this really beautiful double gauze, in this mulberry color, which is one of my favorite colors. It's got a nice like double stitch neckline. It's got a nice seam at the back. And originally these are supposed to have little ruffles right here, about this long of a ruffled piece, but I just wanted to do some like elasticated sleeves there. And so that's what I did. This is just a really nice piece to throw on. It's so light and airy. It's oversized, but not like too sloppy looking. This is the smallest size. I think going forward, I do love this pattern. It's so easy to make and so quick. I would like some a little bit smaller for me, so I would have to change that, but I do have a problem with that. A lot of sewing patterns, I find the smallest size just swallow me up a little bit. So yeah, I kind of want to work at adjusting the sizes and I guess grading it down to a smaller size to make it a little bit tighter fitting for me. But this was really nice. It's a nice open airy piece to wear, perfect for summer. It just like it's like impossible to get overheated in this fabric. I find it's just an amazing cotton fabric that I just wish I could have all of my clothing in this fabric. It's so amazing. So I really love this. These sleeves they hit just above my elbow, so it kind of makes like a big puffy billowy sleeve, and I think it looks really cute. So really fun, easy pattern from Common Stitch, the Bellbird blouse. I've knit a couple of their I've sewn a couple of their patterns before, and I really enjoy their patterns. The next one is, oh gosh, I wrote this down and I forgot it, but this is by Caledonia Dreamin'. I think it's the Silice top. Yes, it is. And this, what is going on here? I don't know, I think it's sitting weird on there we go. This is, yes, the Silice top. I started this ages ago. It took me forever to finish because I kind of just lost steam on it, lost momentum. Really beautiful top. It does not look good on me, so that's the problem. But I feel like I improved my sewing skills while doing it. As you can see, it's like double-sided almost, like, I don't know what the word is for that, but yeah, it's double-sided. There's like two right side edges for the inside as well. Nice little open here, and then a bunch of gathering, and then some gathered elasticated sleeves. Just a plain hem, and it's kind of like, is it like dolman sleeves? I think that's what they're called. I got really confused with this pattern. I think this part of the front is actually supposed to be on the back. I'm not entirely sure. The back's really straight, so maybe that is right. And then the front's a bit curved, so maybe that is correct. I actually don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be reversed though. I don't like the way it looks on me just because I feel like it makes me look extremely like broad and wide and just I don't love the look of it, but I brought it over to my sister's house the other day because my mom and sister were there, and I asked if any of them would want it. It's not their style whatsoever. They don't wear like flowy, billowy things like I tend to gravitate to. So they weren't into it, but then my niece asked if she could try it on, and she's 3, so obviously this isn't gonna fit her, but it turned out to be the most beautiful dress on her. And I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to make a couple of adjustments and turn it into a dress for her. So I think I want to make this the back, and then I could maybe do a little like button or something to close this up so it stays on her shoulders. This will become the front. I would have to shorten the sleeves quite a bit, but then it's like such a long, flowy, beautiful dress on her, and it was the sweetest thing. She put it on and she went, I was looking around, and she was like, you could tell she felt like a princess, and she was dancing around in it. So that's what I'm gonna do, but this was weeks ago now, and I was so happy to be done with this because it was not fun for me to sew up. So now I'm like, oh, I have to get back into it. I have to cut the sleeves and shorten them and figure out an enclosure for this, which really it's just shortening 2 sleeves and closing this up, which is not a big deal. But you know, when you finally finish a project you're not excited about or did not enjoy the process, it could take it needs a lot. I need a lot of push, I guess, to go back and work on it again when I thought I was done. But it is really beautiful. I just don't think it looks good on me, and I'd be more than happy to alter this once I have a bit more space from it again to give it to my niece if she's gonna wear it, because it did look absolutely adorable on her. Okay, I think that's it. Those are all of the projects I've been working on. So a lot of knitting, a bit of sewing here and there. I was just busy lately doing a lot of dyeing. If you missed it, I recently came out with my May collection for my yarn that is all naturally dyed. So that's currently available and in my shop. So I've just kind of been working on that. And now that that's done, just kind of getting back into a lot of my projects. So I'm excited to finish up some pieces here, especially this Seesaw sweater, and hopefully that will be done next time, or again, close to being done. And yeah, maybe I can cast on this skirt soon. Very excited about all these things. I'm not sure if that colorwork sweater will get much work done on it, but maybe when fall comes around, I'll be more motivated to work on it. So we will see. I'd love to know what you have been working on lately, or maybe you've been working on a project while watching this, and I'd love to know what you've been getting some progress done on. I always love to go and check out other patterns I haven't heard of on Ravelry. That is a hobby of its own as well, I think, and one that I really enjoy. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Hopefully my next video will be a lot sooner than this one. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. I had a long break between podcast episodes, so hopefully the next one will be a lot sooner and I can keep you more up to date. And yeah, I always love chatting with you all. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.